Imagine the year 2050, the world with 1.4 billion people that lack sanitation. Our oceans polluted, and a severe scarcity of both food and clean water. This will lead to a skyrocketing crime rate as the quality of life declines and trade countries may demur from investing in our unstable economy, causing more wars to break out as this situation becomes more and more desperate. Watershed, a turning point. That turning point starts with you, spreading the awareness of the horrific events that will happen if we don't conserve our water. Although you may think we have a lot of water, 70% of Earth is water. However, only 2% of that is fresh water. 1.6 of that 2% is locked inside polar ice caps and glaciers, leaving the world just 0.4% to survive on. There are over 7 billion people that need to survive off that. Now, water is a renewable resource. We cannot technically run out of water because it is constantly going through the water cycle. So, you may be wondering, if we cannot run out of water, then why do we need to conserve it? Well, the reason is, each stage of the water cycle takes a different amount of time to complete, and at times it can be very hard to access. Water will spend just a brief amount of time as rain or snow, but water that is in lakes will take decades to cycle, as well as water that is inside oceans or trapped inside polar ice caps and glaciers will take thousands of years. In areas with little precipitation, water basically turns into a non-renewable resource because it is so hard to access and it takes so long to cycle. Water is a vital source to all life, and we need a large and clean supply of it because by 2025, there will be over 1 billion more mouths to feed, requiring an additional 1 trillion cubic meters just for agriculture alone. Now, along with these extra 1 billion people, we're going to need several additional houses, grocery stores, banks, and basically any other building people in today's world need in our lives. But this will be taking up the room and land needed for agricultural use. It takes 528 to 1,321 gallons of water to produce one person's daily food intake. Now, I don't know if you know this, but humans need food. But 1,321 gallons of water to produce just one person's daily food intake is mind-blowing. 20% of the world's agricultural land uses irrigation, the supply of water to support growth, typically by means of channels. This produces 40% of the world's food. 80% of agriculture is rain-fed, but by 2020, the production from rain-dependent agriculture is said to be cut down by 50%. The Green Revolution, which saved Asia from food shortages in the 20th century, was driven by the development and use of high-yielding rice and wheat varieties and was supported by vast irrigation schemes and high fertilizer inputs. However, in large areas of Asia and other places in the world, like some parts of western South Dakota, irrigation can be inconvenient and sometimes not even possible. Irrigation can also be a costly process and can be an expense of up to $16,000 just for a 1-acre lot. This is why certain family farmers and ranchers, like mine, strongly rely on rain-fed agriculture. My family has had rain-fed agriculture be a major contributor to our ranch for the past 109 years. But along with conserving our water, we also need to keep it clean. Simple things like recycling items and properly disposing of hazardous chemicals like paint and motor oil will keep these substances out of our water. Now, if you can do this, you can do almost anything you put your mind to. You can be the person who puts an end to the horrific events that will happen if we continue to be careless with our water. So let's go back to the year 2050, the world with crystal clear oceans, an abundance of both food and clean water, as the quality of life gets closer and closer to perfection. Thank you.